investment. Another right hand to the body. Been a pretty good. Oh, yes! Down goes Hernandez. A right, blistering right hand over the top by Brewart.
From Corona, California, Mega Products International, right next to the 15 freeway. It's time for Thompson Boxing's 3-2-1 Club Show coming your way. I'm Bethel Duran alongside Steve Kim and the editor-in-chief of Ring Magazine, Doug Fisher. 3-2-1, here's how it works. 3 fights coming your way, in and out. You don't miss anything. You interact with us on Facebook or on YouTube. It's your show here for you. And if you're coming to a Thompson show, you better perform. And Doug, our main event tonight, Michael Dutchover. It's been a weird year for him. He's going to fight. He's not going to fight, but he's here as a main event. What kind of fighter is Michael Dutchover?
Oh, listen, when he's got his mojo, he's all action. Okay. But he had an extensive amateur career. He's got a great trainer. He's a technical hunter is what I would call him. He's not so simplistic as to call him a stalker. He doesn't press as hard to call him a pressure fighter, okay, but he's on the hunt for the knockout. And I tell you what, at the end of 2018, when he fought 5 times and had some highlight reel knockouts, he had some real career momentum. And I think that's what today is all about, recapturing that mojo, recapturing that career momentum that he had at late 2018, early 2019, before the loss on Showbox, before all that inactivity. He only fought once last year. Jorge Marron Jr., 18-1, solid guy to get back on the saddle. But now it's time to recapture that magic. That's what tonight is all about.
Dutchover will be in the main event against Leon Benitez, a fighter from Aguascalientes, Mexico. And Dutchover is from Midland, Texas. So if you know Friday Night Lights, like my partner Steve Kim does, you know if you want to win, you got to let booby spin. But Dutchover's got to win. He's from Texas. He was supposed to fight last week at Texas A&M. That fight was scrapped. He's here as the main event. Now, the co-feature, before we get to that, will be a young man who opens it up, Tito Sanchez with Joel Diaz. That's going to be a good one. But the co-feature, Richard Brewart, he's been active here on the 3-2-1 series, but the last time he was in the ring, we were all in agreement that he got a gift.
Yeah, a couple of things here. We actually do see a matchup of 2 6-0 fighters, something that is very rare in boxing, at least in the modern day. As it relates to Richard Brewart, we just want the whole Brewart family to know, whatever we score, especially Doug, it's not personal. Now, we have to be honest. We really do. We did not think he outpointed Nate Weston, but with that being said, it was a learning experience. It was a very difficult style. Now he gets to go back onto the rebound against a guy, Donte, who was quite an inferno of emotion at the weigh-in. I think that's going to be a really good fight. I think this style will be a little bit easier to deal with than Weston. We're able to see Mr. Stubbs back on the top-ranked bubble a couple times. He's going to be a little bit easier to find for Richard Brewart than he was the last time out.
And once again, all views and opinions of Doug and Steve and myself are ours. We don't get told what we should or shouldn't say. That's another promotion. Yes, I'm taking shots right there, right now. So we are here completely honest with you. We interact with you on Facebook. We see all the comments. So whatever comment you want to leave, we will get there with you. Make sure you guys share, and a like. We have 3 fights coming your way. Richard Brewart is a fighter that we like a lot. We've seen him here at the Doubletree. We've seen him here at 3-2-1, and he comes to perform. So that'll be a good one, the co-main. The main event, Michael Dutchover. And we also have the 4th member of our crew, the one and only Jessica Rosales is standing by. Jessica, I don't know where you're at, but what do you got?
All right, guys, happy Sunday. We are happy to be here with you. We do have 3 fights scheduled for you guys on our 3-2-1 broadcast, but we're doing things a little bit different today. We are also going to have some special guests that will be joining us today, both of them coming off of some recent wins. Now, one of our first guests that we will be having with us today, we will have George Acosta joining me right here at our news desk. Now, the thing with him is he likes to stay active. He's got 2 wins recently. He fought back-to-back. We'll be talking to him about that. We also have Danny Roman, who will be joining our very own Steve Kim ringside. He will be talking about his unanimous decision win over Ricardo Espinoza, and we'll learn all about what is next for Danny Roman. But let's talk about today's fights. Of course, it is Sunday, and the action is starting very early. we're going to be having in our main event later on today, scheduled for 8 rounds in that super lightweight division. We'll be seeing Michael Dutchover making his return. Of course, he's spent some time out of the ring, more than a year already, and he said he is ready to unleash. More so, he's ready to take his career to the next level. We'll see if that starts for him tonight. His opponent, Ivan Benitez, he is telling us that his last fight in December 2020, he finally found himself as a fighter. Now, he's got close to almost 20 fights, so for him to say that he's coming in here with some confidence and saying that this will be the best fight of his career. Now, in the co-main event, these two guys wanted to start things off a little bit early. We did see some fireworks during the weigh-in. We'll tell you all about that a little bit later on before their fight. But we will be seeing Cool Breeze, Richard Brewart Jr. He's going to be out there telling us that he has never had anybody in the ring with him like how he fights. Now, Donte Stubbs is going to be surprised by his style. That's going to be his advantage tonight. Speaking of Stubbs, though, he's telling us that he's been training as though his life depends on it, and he's definitely got something to show Cool Breeze tonight, so we'll be excited for that fight. As I said, they got things started pretty early, scheduled for 6 rounds. I don't know if it will go the 6 rounds. Now, getting ready in just a couple of minutes, we'll be starting the action with a pair of undefeated fighters. They've got 6 rounds scheduled in the super bantamweight division. Jose Sanchez with a record of 6-0, and Drew Strode also 6-0. Now, the advantage to Sanchez, though, because 4 of his wins have come by way of knockout. Strode with just one of those wins by KO. Now, in just a few minutes, we'll see those guys walking out. But first, let's take a look back at the weigh-ins.
Entering the arena, Andrew Strode.
Andrew Strode, legend is his nickname. 6-0, 1 KO from Denver, Colorado. Enjoying the moment. Strode, a young man, started boxing at the age of 9, trained by his father. This fight, Steve and Doug, was supposed to take place in April, but Tito Sanchez had to back out due to COVID. So it's been on the docket for both of them. So they knew it eventually was going to happen, and here we go. Should be a good one. Kicking it off. 6 rounds coming your way.
Across the ring, Jose Sanchez.
Tito Sanchez. Jose's a legal name, but Tito's what everybody calls him. 6-0, 4 KOs from Cathedral City, California, trained by Joel Diaz. We saw this young man once already, didn't we?
You and I have, Beto.
Okay.
At least 3 times. He's fought his last 4 bouts at the Doubletree Hotel on Thompson Boxing shows.
Yeah, if he's trained by Joel Diaz, you know he's getting top flight work in Indio, California, Coachella Valley. And of course, our ring announcer, the one and only Lupe Contreras.
From the Omega Products International Event Center, Carson, California, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to another edition of 3-2-1 Boxing, proudly presented to you by Thompson Boxing Promotions. Tonight's event is being sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Chairman is John Carvelli. Executive Officer is Andy Foster. Tonight's sponsors are Omega Products International, Belgard, Makita Tools, and Thompson Building Materials. We start the action with this bout. Set for 6 rounds in the super bantamweight division. Our judges scoring at ringside are Jonathan Davis, Christy Rosario, and Max DeLuca. At the sound of the bell, the man in charge of the ring, referee Raul Gais Sr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 2 undefeated fighters, but someone's gonna take an L tonight. Introducing first, the fighter standing in the red corner. He enters wearing black with red trim. He weighed in at an official 122 1/4 pounds. As a pro, he stands in the ring undefeated with 6 victories. One of those victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, Andrew Legend Strode. Across the ring in the blue corner, wearing white with gold trim, he weighed in at an official 123 1/2 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring for the 7th time as a pro, putting his undefeated record on the line, consisting of 6 victories. 4 of those victories coming by way of KO. From Cathedral City, California, Jose Tito Sanchez.
All right, gentlemen, I give you instructions downstairs. Remember, punches here are fine. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you. Go back to your corner.
6 rounds, getting ready to go. Should be a good one. Look at the tail of the tape here, Doug.
Yeah, Andrew Strode has decided height and reach advantages. Sanchez is 3 years younger at 21.
Beth Duran, Steve Kim, and you. Make sure you leave all the comments on the Thompson Boxing Facebook page as we are underway. Tito Sanchez in the white. He's 6-0, 4 KOs. Andrew Strode in the black and red.
And this should be a classic boxer versus pressure fighter matchup that we're familiar with Tito. Due to his height and his reach, he has to be an aggressive fighter. He's got to press the action, he's got to get inside, and he's got to outwork or out-hustle his opposition. Strode, the taller, rangier fighter, whose heroes are guys like Muhammad Ali, he's a stick and move specialist, and he's got the athleticism and the speed and the reflexes to box that way.
Good-looking young fighter. And hello to Tevin Scraggs watching us in the 303, Denver coming through. So if you're watching wherever you may be, make sure you share on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitter or on Instagram, and just let people know that you're watching the Thompson Boxing 321 show.
Do we have some fans from Colorado?
Oh yeah, Tevin Scraggs checking in. And Strode has a good following. 303.
That's a hotbed for amateur boxing, and Strode had 100 amateur bouts, and he won most of them. And you know, you could see that experience in his style. He's very comfortable boxing on the fly, as the old timers say. But you know, in the amateurs, he boxed some fighters that we're familiar with. Guys like Ruben Villa and Chris Colbert, Colbert, and Joshua Franco.
You mentioned Sal Sanchez from Thompson's show.
That's correct.
Yeah, so 303, good chilly out there.
Also, probably the best-known fighter in Denver in recent times, at least the last 25 years, has to be Stevie Little Bit Bad Johnson, former WBC lightweight champion, more recently.
Wait, Stevie Johnson's from Denver?
Yes, he is. And in fact, I covered a couple of his fights at the Nuggets Arena back then. And when Love TKO came on, which is his entrance song, the crowd went bananas. But Andrew Strode's off to a really good start here. I would call this, remember what Jack Mosley called, Doug, power boxing. He's not just flipping out a loose jab here. He's putting a lot of velocity on his stick and his big right hand. And Sanchez, look, first round, this has been a tough go, but real estate is going to be everything based on what you said, Doug. There's no doubt. Strode wants to be the guy working from the perimeter, enforcing his height and length. Sanchez, he doesn't have that much time, but this is where he needs to be, a little bit more chest to chest, being on the inside.
I think it's imperative that Tito, some nice body shots, some nice work on the inside by Sanchez. I think it's imperative that Sanchez gets Strode up against the ropes or in a corner.
And keep this in mind, Strode's a sharp boxer, but in 6 fights, he only has 1 stoppage. So based on that, you would think that he is not the most heavy-handed of fighters.
He's He's also been going up against guys that are undefeated. First round in the books. Thompson Building Materials, check them out in Orange, Fontana, Lomita, Camarillo, San Diego, Ripon, and Sacramento. Go to thompsonbldg.com for more information. I actually told my sister about that. She's going to be redoing her house. I'm like, oh yeah, you better talk to Mr. Ken Thompson if you want something done right. And we are at Omega Products International. The way it's set up, it's the warehouse, and once the lights come on, it's all the stucco. Normally here in Corona, they would do the outdoor shows, but eventually we're going to get back to normal. We'll have the outdoor shows, and we'll have the shows back in the Doubletree. So good opening round between Jose Tito Sanchez and Andrew Strode. Kaiser Clark, you're watching outside the Omega Arena? All right. So you're in the parking lot, Kaiser? Ernie Green, what's happening? Gail down in San Diego, how you doing? As always, the Rueda family in Fresno. Saludos a don Sebas. Jumping and attacking early on is Andrew Strode. I like that.
Yeah, and Strode is showing us some choice body punches as well. So it's not just the jab and that right hand. He's looking to land a left hook to the body. The body should definitely be a target for Sanchez.
Nice shot by Strode. Throwing it one at a time. Strode trained by his father, who was a police officer in the Denver area. His dad was actually fighting the Battle of the Badges when Andrew was a young man. Saw his dad fighting, said, well, I want to get into this. Started boxing at the age of 9.
Guys, I think Sanchez is having a pretty good round, too. He's digging to the body. About 15, 20 seconds ago, he hit him with a good left hook downstairs, and you can see Strode at this point. Now his pace is beginning to slow. You can see him initiating clinches on the inside. This is exactly the real estate Sanchez wants to be at.
Yeah, Sanchez has landed a lot of hard shots to the body and head, as you were saying that. He's also defending pretty well on the inside, although he just caught some punches there.
Brandon Stubbs from Kansas City cooking dinner.
Oh, the Archbishop Stubbs.
Oh, that's him? Oh, okay. All right, I got you. Steve says, you didn't need to knock anybody out if you keep sharpening people on the way up. He's doing that. Well, I agree, but usually when you see a young fighter coming up, the first fights are all knockouts here.
Don't get in that fight,
But again, Sanchez doing a really nice job of just taking some of the air out of the tire of Strode. In fact, you look at the body language of Strode, you can tell he's visibly affected. There's a right hand over the top from Sanchez.
And I think Strode is making a mistake by languishing on the inside, by standing and trading in the pocket as long as he is right now with Tito.
Saludos, Blythe, California, Daniel Ochoa. Also Francisco Salazar, boxing scribe. Camarillo, soccer coach, does it all. Francisco does a great job. F. Salazar Boxing.
Oh, man, that was a big left hook.
Body work, another good left hook. Oh! Strong right landed by Tito Sanchez here in the second round.
Yes, that right cross hurt Strode, definitely.
Sanchez, corner's telling him to box. He's getting hit, his hands are down. He's stung.
Guys, this has become a Sanchez fight. No doubt about it. Just the physicality of it, and also the fact that, to me, Strode seemingly has lost his legs already in the second round.
Strode is taking a lot of punishment here in the second round.
Strode is fighting on instinct right now. I don't know if he knows where he is or what he's doing.
Caught.
No, the bell didn't ring. That was a 10-second warning.
He's got confused.
It happens.
Yeah. That's the bell. So Kai separated him at 10 seconds. Oh, what a strong round for Tito Sanchez. Let's look at some of the replays from that round in our opening bout.
Tito connects with a left cross, with a right to the body, a left to the body, back up to the head. He's upstairs, he's downstairs. He's switching stances. I think it's hard for Strode to anticipate a lot of these punches, but big left hands, right crosses landing on the jaw and all along the rib cage.
Yeah, and keep this in mind about Sanchez. Like Strode, he's 6-0, but on his ledger is 4 stoppages. And again, the variable is the level of opposition. And in fact, guys, looking up here at the Strode corner, referee Raul Caiz and the ringside physician of the California State Athletic Commission, they're starting to take a real close look here at Strode's condition. This is something to monitor.
Dr.
Yeah.
Kenneth De Los Reyes inside the ring.
Now here in California, when the ringside physician pays a visit to the corner, they stop the time. So when the ringside physician leaves, then you have the rest of that minute.
Beto, this kind of reminds me of a couple of weeks ago. We were sitting right next to each other in Carson, California at the War Grounds. We could hear Joel Diaz tell Brandon Figueroa, pressure, pressure, pressure. I think that's going to be the exact same tact here in round number 3 for Sanchez.
Thomas Brader, here comes your shout out. Boys Stable Central Boxing. The group chat gets their shout out. All right, there you go. I see it, but you got to mix it in. I can't just give shout outs the entire time, bro. But unless you're at the Del Taco in Barstow, like Javier Zuniga's saying. Now, if you're at Del Taco in Barstow, you get your shout
that's
out.
the Mecca. That is the Mecca.
Tito Sanchez 6-0, 4 KOs.
Now move. Yes.
Trained by Joel Diaz. You know the quality of work that he gets there with Joel Antonio.
Don't hit him there.
One thing that's very noticeable, Beto, is Strode is really pushing his punches, straining to put a little bit of mustard to try to keep Sanchez off, and Sanchez is just all over, walking through most of his punches at this point, dominating, I think, the ring generalship. He is just banging him up. This is exactly where he wants to be if you're Sanchez.
And you know what? Sanchez has become a better puncher than he was when I first saw him. He used to throw a lot of arm punches, and he's given up some of his volume for better leverage on each shot. He's choosing his shots wisely, and there's a lot of accuracy and leverage behind each one.
Strode's corner is telling him to move, use the ring. He's not. He's deciding to stay in there with Tito Sanchez, Steve.
Well, look, your corner might say one thing, your legs say another. That's the reality of it. It's very easy for any of us to say a guy should be moving and boxing, but at the end of the day, I believe the body work of Sanchez is absolutely having an effect on Andrew Strode.
Strode is a tough young man.
Oh, he just took a deep breath, Beto. Just look at his facial expression.
Yep.
This is a guy really being put through the meat grinder by Sanchez. Double left hook again.
How much more is Caiz going to let him go?
Well, he's
Uppercut.
starting to look in a lot, though.
And there it
Beto.
is. He jumps in, protects Andrew Strode.
The right
the
thing to do.
stoppage for Tito Sanchez in the early rounds. And you see Strode on the ropes. A lot of heart from young Andrew Strode, who suffers his first defeat. Tito Sanchez just too much tonight.
What do they say? Pressure bust pipes?
Yes.
And that was a lot of pressure there from Jose Sanchez. I was impressed because not only was it a fast, pressure-filled performance, there was a lot of craft and skill within all that fury.
There was. He was not sloppy at all. He didn't waste any punches. I think he had some really good gym work. Obviously, Joel Diaz, who we're all very familiar with, he's an elite level trainer, and he knows how to improve a fighter's leverage behind his punching technique. So if you got a little bit of power, he can enhance that.
And we'll be back with more from 321 Boxing in Corona, California.
They may call individually, but we need to make that. A lot of POs are.
Paving the way to your personal sanctuary that you simply can't stop thinking about. Find yours at belgard.com.
Experience Makita's cordless outdoor power equipment. The mower is a part of the world's largest battery system and cuts non-stop for up to 2 miles. The self-propelled model makes mowing effortless. Get unstoppable power without the hassles of gas. Reach speeds of up to 116 miles per hour with the single battery blower. One system, endless possibilities. Now get 2 extra free batteries.
Here at the Omega Products International Event Center, a series of unanswered blows forces referee Raul Caiz Sr. to stop this contest with an official time of 1 minute 40 seconds of round number 3. Your winner, by way of KO and still undefeated, Jose Tito Sanchez.
Tito Sanchez improves to 7-0, his 5th stoppage. Andrew Strode loses for the first time. He's now 6-1. Strode showed a lot of heart. Came out strong. I thought he won that first round, but Tito Sanchez jumped on in the second, Steve.
Well, he's only 21 years old, Sanchez, and he looks like your quintessential Joel Diaz pressure fighter. By the way, Joel Diaz constructing a new gym, so some good things going on there. But Sanchez, as Doug said, becoming a better puncher by actually punching less. And what is that phrase, Doug? Less is more.
Absolutely, and it was too much for poor Andrew Strode, who, guys, I considered a live underdog.
Yeah.
Based on his amateur background, based on the quality of his professional opposition. Tito was the 5th undefeated fighter that Strode had faced, which lets you know that Strode's people had a lot of confidence in him. And also, just based on his height, his reach, his boxing style, that's difficult for a pressure fighter to overcome within just 6 rounds. It only took Tito 3.
Yeah, Tito looked good. I would like to see Strode again. The way we saw in the first round from him, a lot of heart, good movement, but it was just too much Tito Sanchez. And that's another example of the opposition that you face early on in your career. And, you know, Strode had some good opponents.
He did.
But a step up in the competition, and he gets stopped here. But a lot of heart. I wouldn't mind seeing Andrew Strode again. Tito Sanchez, though, did impress. And I see what you're talking about, Doug, because the first time we saw Tito, he was typical come in and just wail and throw people out.
Smothered his own punches.
Today, we saw a nice young boxer.
Well, he was placing his punches really nicely. It's one thing to throw a lot of punches, but you have to make your punches count. And there were several key hooks to the body. And he does something that's very crafty. He's not going to get a lot of credit for it. He's not Terrence Crawford, but he's very effective from the orthodox and southpaw stance. So he's able to create angles and crevices on the inside. So he really is becoming a guy defining his own style. And as Doug mentioned, when you work with the Joel Diaz stable and all those fighters from Uzbekistan, some of them have just landed back in the U.S., there will always be a lot of good work in that gym.
And now let's go over to the 4th member of our crew, Jessica Rosales, with the winner, Tito Sanchez.
All right, guys, joining us now, we've got Tito Sanchez, the winner in our first bout of the day, improving his record now to 7-0 with that 3rd round stoppage. And Tito, how nervous are you right now? You told me it was your first interview ever.
Yeah, really nervous.
Don't worry about it. It's like we're having a conversation. Now let's talk about your opponent, Drew Strode. He came in there not only with the advantage as far as height and as far as reach, but he came out pretty aggressive to start those rounds. So talk to us about him and what you saw from him in the ring.
Yeah, I saw he came out there quick, this jab. He didn't have that much power, so I had to work the inside, how you guys can see what I did. So not show respect on him and just apply the pressure. That's all I did.
Yeah, and let's talk about that 2nd round because, like you said, not show any respect to him. It kind of looked like that in the 2nd round. I was pretty surprised that he still stayed up, so I can only imagine that you probably felt that frustration. Were you expecting him to go down?
Yeah, he actually took a lot of power shots. I thought he was going to go down with the first power hit I landed on him. Well, he's a tough guy.
Does that get frustrating to you when you have a round like that? It looked like maybe he was done pretty early and he doesn't go down.
No, actually, it's actually good. Helps me show more.
Yep.
I don't like easy fights where they go down first hit, first round. I like people that are tough.
Yeah, and so what'd your corner tell you when you went back after that 2nd round?
He was done. He told me he's done. Just go for it all. You don't need to worry about anything.
Yeah. All right, and then, of course, you did get that 3rd round stoppage. So now for you, Tito, what is next? What is going to be the next thing for you in 2021?
Well, first, back to the gym, work on some defense, movement, a lot of stuff we need to work on still. Well, we'll see if I get signed by Thompson or not.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that.
So after tonight's performance, you feel like you still have some stuff to work on? You're not?
Yeah,
I
have a lot.
You did?
I'm not happy at all.
You're not?
Got hit a lot of times.
Okay.
Trying to, yeah.
All right, if you were the teacher of tonight, how would you rate your performance?
Like a 6.
All right, 6 out of 10?
6 out of 10.
That's still good. That's still good.
Yeah.
I like it. You still got the 3rd round stoppage, though, of course. Congratulations to you, but before we let you go, look at that camera. I'm sure people told you, hey, give me a shout out on TV, tell me hi. So go ahead. This is your chance to say hi to your
I
fan
want to
base.
thank everybody that tuned in family, friends, coaches. I love you guys.
All right. Well, Tito Sanchez, hopefully we'll be seeing more of him in the future. But, of course, coming up in just a bit, we do have a special guest. So, Tito Sanchez, 7-0 now. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, guys, and like we promised, we do have a special guest joining us today. We've got George Acosta El Yuyu, and of course, we saw you after your fight before last. You got the win here on 3-2-1 Boxing,
Yes.
and then quickly after, you had another fight. Tell us about that fight. I know you walked away with some hardware from that.
Yeah, so I had a fight here April 18th, and it was like 2.5, 3 weeks later, May 7th in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. Yeah, it was for WBA for the Central Belt, and I won. It was my first 10-round fight. I jumped from a 6-round fight to a 10-round fight. And I felt good. You know, my conditioning was good, and yeah, we came home with the belt.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, because you didn't go from 6 rounds to 8 rounds. You went from 6 rounds to 10 rounds, which can make a really big difference if the conditioning is not there.
Right.
So obviously you were preparing for the fight that you had here in Corona, but kind of at the same time, I would assume that you were preparing for that future fight and adding those extra rounds as well.
Yeah, so I mean, we were preparing for a 6-round fight in Corona here in April, and we got word from I got word from the manager, from Alex, that we had a fight offer the week of the fight. So I didn't really have time to prepare for a 10-round fight. So I just kind of trusted my training. But it is a big difference between a 6-round fight and a 10-round fight. It was a little weird though during the fight, because it was, I think it was starting the 8th round. Yeah, it was the start of the 8th round. My coach was like, "All right, look, you only have 3 rounds left, right? Because it started the 8th." And I'm like, "Oh wow, that was pretty quick." Yeah, so I mean, there is a big difference between a 6-round fight, 8-round fight, and a 10-round fight. But good thing is that, you know, I like to stay in the gym, and I'm always in shape. So I think that carried me to be victorious on that 10-round fight.
It helped you out for sure. And of course, you got that win there. So what is next for you now? I mean, you had those 2 fights back to back. I'm assuming that you're getting a little bit of a break before we see you back in the ring.
Yeah, so I took a little time off after that fight, let my body recover. But I'm back in the gym. So we're improving on the mistakes we made on both fights, because we didn't really have time to sit back and watch the 6-round fight. We had to prepare for the 10-round fight. So me and my coach sat down and we looked at our mistakes, and right now we're just focusing on improving on that. And hopefully, I mean, I still want to fight, so I'll hopefully get, 2 fights at least by the end of the year. That's our goal.
Any month in particular that you are looking to target, possibly maybe August?
Yeah, that's August would be the month that we're targeting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then of course, being here today for 3-2-1 Boxing, we've got some earlier fights happening. Usually, I feel like they're about 4 o'clock, a little bit later on. But how different is this for you, getting to sit and enjoy? I know that that's something that not a lot of us have been able to do since the pandemic started, but you're getting to be a fan today. You're getting to enjoy it, and then we're doing our regular interview afterwards.
Yeah, actually, it feels very different. All the time, every single time I've been here, it's been for a fight. I'll have a fight, and this is it's completely different now being a spectator. This is actually this would be my first boxing event that I've been to since the pandemic as a spectator, as a fan. It feels different, but I can get used to this too.
Absolutely. And then our main event, Ivan Benitez, somebody that you have seen before as well. Tell us about being in the ring with him, and what do you expect to see tonight?
So I fought Ivan back in February, and he's had a tough road. He had a tough boxing career. He's faced tough oppositions. He's fought undefeated fighters. He's beat undefeated fighters. He's a good fighter. He's tough. But Michael Dutchover is also a really good fighter. He's tough. I think from kind of analyzing the fight, Michael Dutchover is the superior boxer, and I think Dutchover is going to take this one. Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be seeing that later on in our main event. Still got our co-main to go. And, of course, we do have another special guest. Before we go to that, though, of course, we want to say thank you to you for being here, for giving us the time, as always. And now we will send it over to Steve Kim. Steve, who you got?
All right, Steve Kim here with the former unified 122-pound champion of the world, Danny Roman. Danny, coming back to these Thompson shows, whether it's here at the Doubletree or here at the Omega Products, must bring back some great memories.
It does, because not that long ago I was doing the same thing, fighting in this small events.
When we go back to the Danny Roman story, I believe you started off 7-2-1. In fact, you were released by Thompson Boxing, and then you were able to rebuild your career, did some great things. At what point did you feel as though you had turned your career around and you felt, you know what, I can do this?
I kept on improving, I kept on winning, and I kept on seeing the difference, a little bit more defense, and not getting hit as much like how I started as a professional.
You could literally see fighters develop right in front of your eyes, much the way you did. If we take a look at some of your highlights from what was a really, really productive championship run. You were impressed by Jose Tito Sanchez. It looks like he's gotten a lot better very quickly.
Yes, he has. Tito has been doing the work in the gym. He's been active, and he proved it in the ring today. Every time he fights, he keeps on improving.
So at the beginning of 2017, you make your ShowBox debut, and you beat Adam Lopez, and you ended up going Japan twice, winning the title, and then you ended up unifying the belts. When you look back at that run, what's the most memorable thing?
Winning the world title in Japan. And I was so busy, one step at a time, that I realized, you know what? I won the world title in Japan. I did the first title defense in Japan. Came back, Texas, Chicago, and I ended up unifying back home in Inglewood. So, hey, that was the biggest moment in my life.
Yeah, so the Roman Empire was worldwide, no doubt about that. Then the disappointing night in Miami, and what I thought was a razor-thin fight against MJ Akhmadaliev. Very clearly, you want that rematch one day.
Yes, I still believe I got unfinished business with MJ. And the people want to see it too. And like I said, I still got unfinished business with him.
Yeah, that fight began, I believe, in late January, early February, Super Bowl week in Miami at the beginning of 2020. Then we had COVID, you had that long layoff. You came back last week of September against Juan Carlos Payano. It got better as the night went on. Was there ring rust on that night?
It was, it was a little stuff. The training wasn't the same like how it was. We tried to make it work. Everything was closed down. It was hard to find sparring, especially southpaws. But, we did the best we can, and we ended up getting the W that night.
Yeah, so about 3 weeks ago at the War Grounds in Carson, California, we were there ringside. You took on Ricardo Espinoza, a really tough guy. Yes. Be honest. Were you surprised he was able to see the final bell?
I did. I thought the corner was gonna stop it around the ninth round. But I knew that guy is a tough fighter. He was gonna bring everything. He was gonna be on top of me, in front of me, to fight the whole fight.
Spoke to your manager and trainer, the always outspoken Edigan, against Payano. Do you feel the same way?
I did. I'm trying to improve every fight. This coming fight, I'm gonna try to look better than how I did this past weeks.
So in terms of your next upcoming fight, it seems as though the other champions do have some dance partners already. I believe that Stephen Fulton, the WBO champion, is going to take on Brandon Figueroa, who beat Luis Neri on the same card that you performed on. Where do you think that leaves you, and what's in your immediate future?
Well, my manager's been talking to my promoter. They're saying that I'll be I might be back in September on their undercard of Figueroa and Fulton.
So you're a boxing guy. I'm just a guy that sits and watches on the couch. Figueroa against Fulton. Who do you like in that fight? How do they match up?
Both of them got different styles. I think we seen Figueroa. He's gonna bring the fight to Fulton. Fulton will try to box, do the smart fight that night.
So there's no doubt, and I think there's an obvious question. Whoever wins that fight, if you can't get MJ, would you like the winner of that particular contest?
Of course. I would like the winner of that night, whether it win Fulton or Figueroa. If not, I still got unfinished business with MJ. I still want that rematch.
Okay, he's made it very clear. He's a man of few words, but he speaks softly and carries a big stick. This has been Danny Roman. Jessica, back to you.
All right, guys. Now, in just a few minutes, we'll be seeing our co-main event fighters making their way to the ring. And as I mentioned earlier, those two wanted to start things very early yesterday during the weigh-ins. There was an exchange of words between the two, Donte Stubbs and Richard Brewart Jr. Cool Breeze. Now, these two guys, you know that when it gets to that level, especially at the weigh-ins, it becomes very personal for these fighters. Stubbs, this will be his first time fighting this year, and Cool Breeze is telling us that he actually wants to make a big statement. He wants to be prospect of the year. He wants to definitely be talked about. Now, we keep an eye on all your guys' comments that you put on Facebook, on YouTube, and everything. After watching this video, I want to know, what do you guys think? This is scheduled to go 6 rounds. Do you think it will go the distance? Here's a video from yesterday's weigh-in.
$155.7.
Tell me your shorts, please. For the
155.8. Look over here, please.
You can be headed back there tomorrow.
Entering the arena, Donte Stubbs.
Donte Stubbs, Savage. 6-1, 2 KOs from Riverside, California. A newcomer to boxing. Started off as an MMA fighter, but he's not your traditional MMA guy who likes to box because he gets a paycheck. He said, no, I was a boxer first. MMA, I did that because you can get fights easy and they pay you right away. But he said, I was a boxer no matter what. Started boxing at the age of 18. But because, Doug, once you turn pro as an MMA fighter, you're not allowed to have any amateur fights.
Oh.
So he said that's why he had no amateur fights on his record, but he did train as an amateur. And he's a live one. He's a live dog. He's been in the bubble a couple times for Top Rank, and here he is on Thompson Boxing.
His counterpart, Richard Brewart.
Cool Breeze is the nickname. 9-0, 4 KOs from Rancho Cucamonga, a Thompson Boxing fighter, making his way through the club scene. And the last time we saw him, he was in a tough one, and all three of us thought that he came up short to Nate Weston. He got the judge's decision. Said he's learned from that. Moving on. Excellent boxer, fine young man. Kind of kid you want to root for, easy for there. And with Henry Ramirez in his corner, they do a great job. Should be an excellent co-feature tonight.
We continue with the action here at the Omega Products International Event Center, presented by Thompson Boxing Promotions. It is 3-2-1 Boxing, being sponsored by Thompson Boxing Building Materials, Henry Fortifiber, Infinity Bank, Western Manufacturing, and Makita Tools. This bout set for a distance of 6 rounds or less in the junior middleweight division. Our judges at ringside are Jonathan Davis, Christy Rosario, and Max DeLuca. The ref in charge of the action, Ivan Guillermo. Presenting first, the fighter standing in the red corner. He enters wearing black with silver trim on the scale. He weighed in at an official 155 3/4 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring for the 8th time as a pro with an outstanding record of 6 victories against 1 lone defeat, 2 of those victories coming by way of KO. Representing Riverside, California, Donte Savage Stubbs. Across the ring in the blue corner, wearing blue with neon green trim, his official weight, 155 3/4 pounds. Tonight, he puts his undefeated professional record on the line, consisting of 9 victories. 4 of those victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Rancho Cucamonga, California, Richard Cool Breeze Brewart.
Gentlemen, you both received your instructions in the locker room. Trunks are good. When the bell rings, come out fighting. Let's go.
6 rounds scheduled. Look at the tape, Doug Fisher.
These guys match up almost perfectly, physically speaking. Stubbs is the older man by 4 years and has a very slight reach advantage.
And Steve, Archbishop Stubbs says no relation unless he wins.
That's how it works.
Unless he wins. Beth Duran, Steve Kim, Doug Fisher, and Jessica Rosales, our co-feature on 3-2-1 Boxing. Stubbs in all black. He's from Riverside, California. Brewart in the blue and neon, lime green actually, from Rancho Cucamonga. They know each other. They know of each other. Brewart been on the Thompson scene. Stubbs fought on Top Rank shows twice. And Stubbs actually told me that I know who Brewart is. I watched his last fight. And at the weigh-in yesterday, they were all over each other. It's been a while since we had a good weigh-in, people in each other's face. I missed that.
Yeah, I like it. It's personality. It's what makes boxing boxing.
Yeah, you know, COVID, you can't have people around, all that other stuff. But, you know, you get in each other's face. But you could tell that Stubbs had a little wink in his eye, like, yeah.
He wants to get under Richard's skin, obviously. And I think, you know, as a fighter, he knows what it's like to either win a very close fight or controversial fight, or lose a closer controversial fight, and it can bug the fighter. And if you can bring that fight up, if you can bring up that controversy, maybe you can create doubts in your opponent's head.
And Steve, Brewer's a fighter that has been going through some adversity lately inside the ring, right? You guys called the fight where he was dropped?
Yeah, and the fight prior we talked about with Nate Weston, I thought he was really indecisive in the middle rounds. Weston was laying a lot of traps. This is a much simpler style. I'm not saying that Stubbs is easy by any means, but in terms of deciphering what he's going to do, there came a point in that last fight with Weston, Brewart started to really hesitate and doubt when he should pull the trigger because he was running into counter punches. Not sure that dynamic really exists in this particular matchup.
Yeah, Stubbs is athletic. He's fast. He's got decent reach and good experience for somebody who didn't have any amateur bouts. But he's game. He's kind of flat-footed, and he's going to be way more aggressive than Nate was.
Yeah, you'll be able to find the Savage Stubbs. He will stand there and trade with you. He likes doing that. He counters with the left hook. Stubbs also watching a couple shows on the Top Rank. He loves to throw that wild overhand right to catch opponents. I think that's what caught Brewart.
Yeah, when Brewart went down, it was kind of a wild, and it was from an awkward kind of rangy puncher. And when Brewart went down in that fight before the Nathan Weston fight, yeah, he was hurt. It was. He got up on wobbly legs, and he showed some real character surviving that round and then coming out in the very next round and stopping his opponent. I see this right now as kind of a battle of wits and reflexes and right hands. Richard likes to whip his right hand straight to the midsection, sometimes over the top, and Stubbs likes an overhand right. But both right hands carry a lot of pop.
Good left hand from Stubbs. Good opening round between Brewart and Stubbs here on 3-2-1 Boxing from Omega Products International in Corona, California. As always, if you're redoing your house, you're working on a house, or you're just a man in construction or a lady, you want to go to Thompson Building Materials. We've got yards in Orange, Fontana, Lomita, Camarillo, San Diego, Ripon, Sacramento, ThompsonBLDG.com. And sorry, Tony Contreras, much to your dismay, our good friend Miguel Cubos is not fighting tonight. We can't get anybody to step in that ring with that cruiser/heavyweight. Remember that guy, Doug Cubos? He comes from Cali. We had him in Sacramento, where he has the worst body.
Oh, yeah.
And he throws punches and punches, and he waves at the crowd to come on in. And he doesn't win the fights, but he wins the crowd like no other.
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with. Nobody wants that smoke.
Oh, indeed. And Kubo's actually watching the fights with us. Whatever comments you guys have on the Thompson Facebook page, let them be. And as always, I can't say this enough. Thanks to everybody who listens and contributes. Aaron Sheik sending a picture. Aaron, if you're going to take a picture of Steve Kim, make sure it's not blurry. Like, we need some better pictures than us. Also, our man, Julianes from ESPN Knockout, always supporting us. Miguel Rueda, his dad. And Tim Boxeo. Make sure you guys listen to the Tim Boxeo podcast. If you're a club show head or if you want to know anything about fights in Albania to Albany, Tim Boxeo has it for you. And of course, Talk Boxing Podcast, the 3 Knockdown Rule with Steve Kim.
These guys cannot afford to make a mistake. I'll tell you what, because they're both so reflexive. They've got such good reflexes. Both guys have above average quickness with their mitts. So they can't fall in the habit of throwing the same punch sequence over and over again. They can't go with like jab, right hand, hook to the body. They can't do that repeatedly because the other one will pick up on it and counter them in between shots. So they have to continually kind of switch up the punch variation.
Interesting, both of these fighters raise animals. Stubbs, French bulldogs. Brewer's family also in the dog raising breeders. So if you want to,
do they both post the puppies, the dogs on their
Stubbs
Instagram?
actually does it.
Yeah.
Brewer's father's the one who does it. Who has the kennel. So they got some dog in them. Oh, I had to. Come on now.
You had to take that shot.
Come on, Steve. Who let the dog go?
And this the second round's not an easy round to score either. I would say this is sort of tit for tat.
Body work from Brewart, trained by Henry Ramirez. Brewart a little lighter on his feet, isn't he?
No, he's boxing well. I actually think he's beating Stubbs to the punch. Stubbs needs to initiate his attack a little bit earlier. I just heard his corner basically say, hey, look, cut off the ring and don't chase the guy. I actually disagree, Doug. I think this has been a pretty strong round for Brewart tactically.
Cut man, Big Serge Estrada is in Guadalajara, Mexico. He's working Anderson Silva against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Big Serge, what's happening? Good luck to you. Get paid, Serge. That's all we care about. Good comments coming in. Devin Garner is on Team Stubbs, and he's letting us know that that's how he conditions and trains. And there's our main event, Ivan Leon Benitez. He's coming up next. Benitez from Aguascalientes, Mexico. He'll be taking on Michael Dutchover in the main event. You see, that's the corner of Donte Stubbs.
Steve, do you have the first and the second round scored for Brewart?
Yeah, right now my scorecard reads 20-18. I thought the first round was really close, edged that to Brewart. The second round, Brewart did a nice job of hitting on the fly, boxing, initiating his attack a little earlier, and then I thought a really nice transition from offense to defense for Brewart won that round. Stubbs is going to have to pick up the pace a little bit and start closing that gap before this fight gets too far out in front of him.
That was Henry Ramirez in the corner of Richard Brewart. Third round of action coming your way. Brewart, lime green and blues, comes out with the body attack. Nice matchup here by Alex Campanovo from Thompson Boxing. And a 3-2-1, it's never easy. Even when it is easy, you have to work for it. I mean, Even when it looks easy, it's because guys work hard. Good shot landed by Brewart. Roll with it, did Stubbs.
Yeah, this is the most mobile and slippery I've ever seen Richard Brewart.
Yeah, and this fight, unlike the one against Weston, he's much more decisive in his moves. I thought against Weston, there was a lot of indecision with Brewart. I think he was second guessing even when to throw punches. And this one, he seems to be in really good command of his movements. Consistently beating Stubbs to the punch, and then just like that, getting out of there. And by the time Stubbs kind of peeks out from that high guard of his, Brewart's already out of there.
That right to the body was one of the few punches that he was able to land consistently against Nate Weston.
Stubbs in the black, went to Ramona High School in Riverside, played football, said he was in a bunch of street fights, joined the Navy. He was a third chief petty officer on the USS Ronald Reagan, and that's where he learned to box. He was part of the Navy boxing team, and he would be on the ship, done with his shift, and he was learning to box on the ship. So they would have sparring sessions, training sessions on the USS Ronald Reagan, and a year later, the Navy boxing program was eliminated. But he said he continued with it. The boxing is what he wanted to do. And here he is as a pro.
You know, you look at the way Stubbs plays defense, that high guard, and that's very good for deflecting punches, and you can find safe shelter. The problem is, it's difficult to actually counterpunch because you've got to wait for contact to be made, and you're always going to be a beat behind, just like that right there. That's one of the things. You're not able to really effectively counterpunch from that type of style if you're going to employ that high guard exclusively.
That was low. That was a low blow.
And referee Ivan Guillermo calls time. Y saludos a Miguel Cubos. Speaking of Miguel Cubos, he's watching us right now. ¿Cómo estamos, Cubos? Desde San Luis, Rio Colorado. To add on to Donte Stubbs. Stubbs did 2 camps with Triple G, including the last one where Triple G was training in Hollywood, Florida.
He's very game. He's a tough guy. You can see, you know, you can tell the lack of amateur background. But he makes up for it with that heart. He just pounded his chest. He's not just a breeder. I mean, he's a dog himself.
Yeah, he is.
and he has that determination.
Overhand right, strong round ending for Donte Stubbs. And he's feeling good inside, mocking Brewart. Daniel Ochoa says Brewart looks more relaxed and more focused from his last 2 previous fights. I completely agree. People are saying Stubbs is tired. I don't know. I think that's how he fights.
That's how he fights, and the Stubbs corner believes that Brewart's is tiring out. They believe that his pressure was getting to Brewart in that 3rd round, and that's why Brewart hit him low. They don't think that it was an accident. They thought it was deliberate in order to slow down Stubbs' momentum. That's why he didn't take that long during that break.
Coming up next, the main event, Michael Dutchover and Ivan Benitez. So everybody from Midland, Texas, make sure you guys let people know what's going on. Your guy is coming up next. Steve, you from Midland? You from Midland?
I'm more of a Permian guy.
You're from Midland. That's what you want me to. Friday Night Lights reference, Doug. I know you don't know anything about high school football, but
it's like you guys are speaking another language.
There was a scene in the movie where the kid is from Midland, and the other he's from Permian, the doctor from Midland, rival schools, and the doctor's like, "Oh no, you can't play. Your knee's messed up." He's like, "'Cause you're from Midland." Good round, back and forth action in the 3rd between Donte Stubbs in the black, Richard Cool Breeze Brewart in the blue and lime. Charlie Ponce, let's go. Loaded Cafe in Bellflower. I'll be there tomorrow morning, actually. 432 checking in. Make sure you share in Midland, Texas. Let them know that Dutchover is coming over. You're right, Dominic Roberts. It was Midland. Midland, what he said. Here, Stubbs' corner saying he can't take your shots. Uppercut from Brewart, hits and moves. Stubbs has like a smirk on his face of your shots aren't effective.
Stubbs ate an uppercut, just walked right into it.
He was used twice on the top-ranked bubble. His last fight, though, if you look at BoxRec, is a no contest. He tested positive for a banned substance. I asked him about that. He said he doesn't know what happened, that his testosterone levels came back higher than expected. He tried to appeal it. They wouldn't let him. They gave him a 9-month suspension, cleared it. He took a drug test before this fight, passed it, and he's going to take another drug test after this fight. He said, no problem. I have no problem showing it. But he said he didn't
It's too bad about that result if he did not
he said he
willfully take a performance-enhancing drug.
He said he
because
doesn't do that.
He looked good. He looked good in that fight. He had lost a close decision in the bubble 1 year ago. And of course, those fights were televised on ESPN, so it's great exposure. It's great experience for the fighter. You know, they do the fighter meetings. They get to talk to Andre Ward and Tim Bradley and Joe Tessitore and all that, and then they fight in a national television audience. He came back 9 days later and fought a tough opponent and dropped him twice. Dropped him in the 3rd and 5th round, I think, with big overhand rights. And won a deserved decision. So actually, regardless whether he got the W or if it's a no contest or no decision, that was still really good experience for him. Also, the last time he fought.
Yes, it is.
So he could be working out some, the first couple of rounds, he could have been working out some ring rust.
Good left-handed by Stubbs. Enough to steal a round. Who knows as we head to the 5th. Miguel Montelongo in Pasadena. Saludos también a Adrián in Pasadena, California. Iram Sanchez, if you're Team Dutchover, why don't you share on Facebook, let people know that Dutchover is coming up next. Marcos Hernandez has 4-0 easy work. I don't know about easy work there. Marcos.
Beto, I don't disagree. I have it 40-36 for Brewart, but I think every round, particularly the 3rd and 4th, have been relatively close. I think there's a particular pattern. Brewart starts off the rounds very quickly, beating Stubbs to the punch, but over time, Stubbs' steady pressure starts to make it very difficult on Brewart by the end of the round. One thing Stubbs has to do here is running out of time. He's got to really press the pace here. He's got 6 minutes.
You get the feeling he understands that with the pace that he just set to start off this round 5.
I could see 4-0. I was referring to the easy work. It hasn't been easy.
No, nothing easy about it. That's one of the most overused words in boxing. Easy. It's never easy.
I agree with you, Devin. Stubbs making it tough for Dutchover, but he's got to step it up here in the 5th round. Lenny Hernandez saying, let's finish strong, Junior. And that's something that we've seen with Richard Brewer working with Henry Ramirez, the evolution of a young fighter. We're learning to go different rounds, going and how to actually box and set up an opponent.
Yeah, and to his credit, and Henry Ramirez's credit, and the credit of Brewert's team, he's learning against real professional opposition. He's getting real resistance in there. He's fighting guys that are entering the ring believing that they can beat him and really making an effort to either knock him out or outbox him.
And as if you're a young fighter, yeah, you like fighting early on, but eventually you want to get out of the club scene, you want to get to the bigger shows. Like Yuyo Acosta, who fought here, then 2 weeks later had a chance to fight on the Telemundo show, gets bigger name recognition. And the Tito Zavala show. And there you see a big breath from Donte Stubbs. Okay, now it's starting to wear on him.
Yeah, because he's swinging and missing with such big shots.
And that takes a lot out of you, too,
Absolutely.
Right, Steve? Big swing and a miss.
There it is.
You know, one thing about Stubbs, though, I actually think he's having a decent 5th round, but this is only a 6th-round fight. And you go back to the experience that Brewart's getting, this is what he's going to have to learn how to do, because I get the sense he's a slightly above-average puncher. And as he moves up the ladder, most of his fights are going to go 7, 8-plus rounds. This is what he is. He's going to be a long-distance runner. He's not going to score a lot of quick, easy knockouts in the foreseeable future.
And Steve, if that's the case, then this is the right style for him.
Body work from Brewart. Now Stubbs switching around. Gets caught with the right hand.
There you go, son. Turn it, Richard. Let's go. Turn them hands up, Donte. Let's go. Work.
You hear Henry Ramirez in the corner saying, we need more work for you. For Richard Brewart with 13 seconds to go in the 5th round.
Work. Overhand.
That'll do it for 5. Coming up next, the main event, Dutchover Benitez, here on 3-2-1 Boxing. You see Stubbs getting advice from his corner. Brewart. Richard Brewart also helps out his family, takes care of his uncle.
International Event Center, 1 more to go. This is the 6th and final round.
The voice of Lupe Contreras, La Voz del Box. Always smooth, always classy, always pro. They touch gloves for the 6th and final round. And Stubbs is talking. Say, come on, baby, right here. A desperate Stubbs coming out strong.
Stay low. Get low, Richard. Get low. Stand. Come underneath.
If you're Brewer, you don't want to do this, do you?
Well, this is the issue. If you play 4 corners, believing you have the lead, that might be the smart tactic. The problem is, you might be giving Stubbs an opportunity to build up momentum. You've got to do just enough offensively so that you're not completely off. You don't want to completely put off the off switch just yet. Stubbs, though, certainly fighting with the right sense of urgency, given the fact I think most people believe he is significantly behind.
Good.
But Beto, you look at Brewart's face, his mouth is wide open. His gas tank is, I don't want to say it's on E, but it's certainly getting there. This has been a pretty tough run here because Stubbs, if anything, he has been able to put on constant, steady pressure.
And some blood from the mouth of Richard Brewart. Stubbs, the stalker here in the 6th and final round. Right hand from Stubbs, but not much behind it.
Yeah, at this point in time, you look at that. No real leverage, no torque, no shifting of the body. Stubbs, for the most part, has been relegated. He eats a good straight right hand there into a very, very wary arm puncher at this juncture.
Keep them hands up, baby. Don't do that.
You hear the corner from Stubbs, so keep your hands up, don't do that. Hands really low from Donte Stubbs. There's time he covers up. Body work from Brewart.
Over the top. Over the top. Get small. Over the top.
Stubbs a lot of heart, but he's gassed. Overhand right blocked.
It's done, Donte. Let's go. Work. You got to suck it up.
Less than a minute to go.
That right to the body, that hurt Stubbs.
That hurt again. More body work from Brewart. Long minute to go for Stubbs. He's trying to cover up, gets hit. Looks at the referee. Can Brewart finish it? Brewer's gassed. Stubbs is gassed. Fun co-main. 30 seconds to go in the fight. Brewart holding out, trying to get rid of him. Brewer's cut on the right eye.
See blood.
Work. Let's go. Work.
Brewart might have pushed himself out. Final seconds of the sixth and final round. Good scrap between Richard Brewart, Donte Stubbs, two Inland Empire kids going back and forth, and that'll do it for 6 rounds. They hug, and we'll be back with the decision from 3-2-1 Boxing in Corona.
Discover the advantages of the Henry Fortifiber 1-2-3 moisture control system. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Choose the weather barrier, add the flashing, then finish up with the Henry Moist Top Sealant. Done. No guessing, no gambling. Just the winning confidence you get from our compatible systems.
Experience the world's largest compatible cordless system. Makita's LXT batteries take you from power tools to outdoor power equipment. The blower delivers power comparable to a 24cc gas model. From the job site to your home, reach speeds of 116 miles per hour. Use Makita's cordless products anytime, anywhere. One system, endless possibilities. Now get 2 extra free batteries.
Here at the Omega Products International Event Center, after going the distance, judges Rosario and DeLuca turn in identical scores of 60-54, and Judge Davis scores it 58-56. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Still undefeated, cool breeze, Richard Brewart.
Congratulations to Richard Brewart Jr. He's now 10-0. Donte Stubbs falls for the second time in his career to 6-2. Good scrap back and forth between these two, Doug.
Yeah, I had it close. I had it 58-56 for Richard Brewart. Maybe it could have been a draw. I had a lot of close rounds. I had the opening round, which I scored for Brewart, close. I thought rounds 3 and 4 were close rounds as well. Maybe even the fifth. No, actually the fifth I thought was strongly for Stubbs. And even though Stubbs ate that hellacious body shot in the 6th and final round, he was by far the more active of the two. Dog tired as he was landing those haymakers. So excellent rounds. Richard Brewart sort of lived up to his nickname. He wasn't a hurricane, but he was a cool breeze. We saw him box nice and slick. He was very accurate with his counter punches. He was the more effective boxer in there, but he had to earn it.
I had it 59-54. Good, solid effort there by Brewart. Much more decisive in his movements. Like I mentioned before, in the fight against Nate Weston, I thought he was very, very unsure of himself. Almost seeing ghosts as Weston laid a lot of traps. But this is what he's going to be. He's going to be a long-distance runner. He's going to have to lay bricks one after another. I don't think he's going to score a lot of knockouts as he gets matched a little bit tougher by Alex Campanovo moving forward. But as Danny Roman has shown, you don't need power necessarily to become a world-class fighter. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Tony Salvatierra, commentators hating. Okay, they had him winning. How they hating? Just because they thought they had the rounds closer? Now, Tony, and I appreciate you leaving a comment, but seriously, when you leave a comment that says commentators hating, give us some background, some inspirational story as to why you think we're hating. What part do you think they're hating? This is their job to go and look at, see what's going on. So, especially remember, sitting here ringside, you see everything that's going on. So we appreciate you, Tony Salvatierra, with the commentary. So Richard Brewart improves to 10-0. He'll be going and having an interview with Jessica Rosales. The next fight coming up is Michael Dutchover, Ivan Benitez. Y saludos a toda la gente que está con nosotros en esta pelea. También a nuestro amigo Miguel Cubo. So Jessica Rosales and Richard Brewart, they're getting ready. Got to get rid of Carlos, the photographer. The photographer taking all kinds of pictures. Jessica Rosales, she's standing by with Richard Brewart.
All right, guys, in our co-feature of the day, we've got Cool Breeze, who just got that unanimous decision win. We're over here having some small talk, but I do have to say that was a very fun fight to watch, a lot of back and forth, and it matched the energy from yesterday's weigh-in. So before we talk about the fight, let's talk about that. Did that at all bother you, get in your head, or play into today's performance at all?
No, not at all. He's not the first guy that has tried to talk smack on the lead up to the fight. He didn't do it until the weigh-in. Other guys have done it before the fight, all the way up until. But I saw him when I come to the weigh-in. He's wearing his glasses, just trying to flaunt.
Yeah.
And I knew something was coming. I didn't back down, but I held it professional. I didn't get all crazy or nothing. I just let my hands do the talking at the end of the day.
Yeah, and of course, they did the talking for sure, and the judges saw that as well. Another thing that we noticed, and I know that the viewers saw this, I saw the comments, you looked like a different fighter today. Something was different about you. What was it?
Yeah. Me and Henry have been working on a lot of head movement. I hired another strength and conditioning coach. His name's Eric Garcia. He's been helping me a lot, my strength and conditioning, my footwork, my legs, because he's a really good coach also. So between the both of them, it's made a big difference in this fight. But mainly we just stuck to working on my movement this camp, and that was it.
Yeah, for sure. And with Stubbs, he's the type of fighter, and Dougie noted this one, that you can't continue to throw the same combinations or the same shots with him tonight. So we did see you mixing it up a lot there. What worked for you tonight? What was the best punch that you had that really affected him?
It wasn't the body shots. The body shots paid dividends big time. I was touching him every round. By the second, third round, I noticed he was already breathing heavy. And then the last round, I caught him with 2 body shots that were hard. Thought I was going to stop him, but man, heads up to him, he's tough.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of smack talking before at the weigh-in, but at the end of the day, it's our job. It's what we do. All respect to him, all respect to his team. Have nothing bad to say about them.
Absolutely, and I know that you have said that you want to be looked at as the prospect of the year. You want to get those eyes on you. Today's performance, do you think that you did enough for people to talk about you?
Yeah, definitely. I fought 3 prospects back-to-back, 8-0, a 6-0, 6-1. When do you see a guy with 10 fights already fought 3 other prospects? Mm-hmm. You don't really see it a lot. A lot of guys are getting baby nowadays. I don't say no to fights. Alex takes care of me, makes sure I'm good, so I just show up and fight.
All right, and of course, we got to say thank you to you for doing this interview after the fight. I know you got a small cut above your eye.
Yeah, from my
As
headbutt.
you're talking to me, I can see a little bit of blood dripping down there. So thanks for still stopping by doing this interview.
Thank
but
you.
every time that I've had you here up on the stage, I always give you the opportunity to say something to the fans. So this is your moment. What do you want to tell them?
Yeah, I want to give a big thank you to all my sponsors. Avery Alvarez, the 3 Foot Radius, Prep Life Meal Company, another friend of mine, his name's Dom, Everlast, the cut man, he always takes care of me on my tape. I want to give a big thank you to my parents, all my family, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, all of them. And I also want to give a big thank you to Mr. Thompson and Alex for making sure I'm taken care of always.
All right, sounds good. So Cool Breeze, what's next?
Hopefully maybe September.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be going up to 8 rounds. This fight was supposed to be 8 rounds. The Nate Weston fight was supposed to be 8 rounds. But none of them wanted to fight 8 rounds. So I'm here to fight. So hopefully the next one for sure 8 rounds. I don't want to fight nothing less no more.
All right, congratulations getting that unanimous decision win in our co-feature for the day. But of course, we do have more boxing coming up on 3-2-1 Boxing. We'll send it now to the guys who are standing by ringside.
Back here, ringside, Bethel Duran, Steve Kim, and the editor-in-chief of Ring Magazine, Doug Fisher. For those of you guys wondering what happened last fight, look, Doug said he could see a draw. He had it. What did you have for Brewart?
58-56.
58-56.
4 rounds to 2.
4-2. Steve?
59-54, which is 5 rounds to 1.
Yeah. And the thing that Doug said was he could see a draw because
there were a lot of close rounds, I thought.
So
well, a couple close rounds.
See, so we don't hide from your comments. We see them all. And one thing that we do is appreciate you, the boxing fan, because without you, this club show would not be going on. We appreciate you joining us every single time we have a 3-2-1 show. And Steve, I'm going to start with you. The club series around the United States is really, really bleak. It's on life support. Now, it's slowly coming back, and you and I got to go with Mr. Ken Thompson to see Danny Roman in Carson a couple weeks ago. The state of boxing is slowly starting to open up. Does it feel like that?
It does, with restrictions, obviously. We went there on the 15th of May at the War Grands. Danny Roman put together, I think, just an excellent performance of craftsmanship and skill. Then the week after, in a smaller venue in Vegas at the new hotel, which was the old Hard Rock, I saw Josh Taylor put on a really good all-around performance to consolidate the junior welterweight division. Where it began to feel normal is last week. I went to the Devin Haney fight at what they call now the Michelob Ultra Arena at the Mandalay Bay, and they had about 5,000 people. They sold every available ticket, and starting June 1st, I believe, in the state of Nevada, they will have 100% capacity. So it is slowly coming back. I'm not so sure what's going on in California. We were all told as residents June 15th we'd be back to normal. Now the man in charge is maybe pulling that back. So I'm not so sure what's going to happen. I think all of our hope here is with Thompson Boxing that the next show we do will be outdoors with a live audience. But again, this is a governmental decision. It largely, or in fact it is, out of the hands of the promoters.
And Doug, Thompson Boxing was started in 2000. Mr. Ken Thompson, our home is at the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario. You've seen Tim Bradley come out of there, Chris Arreola, a lot of different fighters.
Josecito
Lopez, Mauricio Herrera, guys that go from there to build on. The club scene is very important for the development of these young fighters.
Absolutely.
And as you talk to different promoters around the country, a lot of them are trying to stay alive. How's Thompson doing it?
They're committed. Thompson is committed. They're in the right part of the country, the right parts of Southern California where there's talent, there's homegrown talent, there's talent to be developed as professionals. How high is their ceiling? You find out with these fights. But there's also just lots of fans. So they have the support. They haven't, for the last year, they haven't been able to have the live support, the ticket sales, which that matters.
Hurts.
Ticket sales matters, folks, yeah. But they're getting at least the views. And I take my hat off to Thompson for creating 3-2-1 Boxing because their fighters didn't just sit on the shelf. If they were willing, they were able to stay active, and we've seen young fighters evolve in just the last year. Richard Brewart, we just saw him fight. He's evolved in his last 3 fights because he was in tough. George Acosta, he's evolving. He's getting better with each fight to where it's like, man, this guy could be a contender. And one of our favorites, Ruben Torres, I think in the last year, we've seen him. He's still at the 8-round level, but he's showing us against the type of opposition where we can see him kick some ass at the 10-round level. And we'll see if he can make it to the 12-round level.
Yeah, the development of young fighters, you got to get in the ring and fight. And Thompson Boxing created 3-2-1 Boxing. Honestly, I thought I was done for the year. I didn't think we were going to be working, but we're here, and I want to take a chance to say thank you to everybody involved, Alex Capanova, Jeanette Gonzalez, Mr. Ken Thompson, everybody behind the scenes. And if you would see how many people it takes to work behind the scenes to get this show going, you would be beyond impressed. Your jaw would drop. We're inside of a warehouse right now, and I don't know how they pull this off, but here's some footage, some behind the scenes of what it takes to put on a 3-2-1 boxing show. great job by everybody to get the 3-2-1 boxing series off the ground. And without you, the fans, we wouldn't be doing this. So keep interacting with us on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram and Twitter and everything else that you can do to help us grow these Thompson Boxing fighters. So Steve, real quick, Michael Dutchover, how high do you have him?
Well, I thought he was on a really good arc until that fight with Thomas Matisse, which was not exactly the greatest homecoming that you could have asked for. He ended up getting cut, and stunningly, I think the fight was stopped for some reason. Really inexperienced ring doctor. And I got to give Dutchover a lot of credit. That was going to be a rain of beer, and he actually stopped the riot from taking place. A little hiccup in the road. I'm still high on him. Again, a lot of fighters have lost on their way to the title, but I think that activity is going to be key, though. As Doug mentioned early in the broadcast, young fighters, they don't get to sharpen their tools enough. I think it's going to be very, very specific in terms of like how many rounds can he get before he's bounced back up to that 10-round level.
And Doug, Ring Magazine, where do you guys view a Dutchover?
He's definitely outside of the top 10. Now, there are peers of his who are his age, maybe even a year younger, like Devin Haney, who are already like in the top 5. But guys like Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez is the unified champion. Some consider him undisputed. I'm one of those guys. He's just 23. But those 3 guys I just mentioned, I think maybe by the end of the year, definitely sometime in 2022, they're going to be moving up to 140 pounds. Whenever Teofimo Lopez does that, there are going to be 4 vacant belts. And I think it won't take much for Dutchover to be rated within the top 10 or 15 of the sanctioning organizations. And if he, like I said, if he can get that momentum back, that mojo back, that form that he had mid to late 2018, early 2019, he's very live. He's somebody, he can be a contender.
That's Michael Dutchover. He's our main event, taking on Leon Benitez coming up next. But right now, let's take a closer look at our main event, Michael Dutchover.
Estoy muy emocionado, se siente una emoción.
I'm very excited to be in this show, to be a part of this show, to be a part of the main event. And I want to thank Thompson Boxing for the opportunity that they're giving me.
Y siento muy feliz, siento muy bien.
I had a great camp preparing for this fight. I think it's probably one of my best camps. We prepared on strength. All my conditioning was really good. Movements, boxing, sparring, and all the aspects for me to have a great performance tonight.
Pues de mi oponente Michel Dutchover, pues sé que es muy fuerte, que lleva buen récord.
I know that my opponent is a very strong fighter. I know he's got a great record, but I'm prepared and I came here to beat him.
Pues que sintonicen la transmisión que va a pasar. Venimos a echarle con todo. Que les
I'm prepared
agradezco.
to give everybody a great show tonight, and I'm very thankful for everybody that has supported me throughout the preparation for this fight. The people in Querétaro, Aguascalientes, and everybody in Mexico that has been always giving me and sending me positive messages during my preparation. I'm going to fight for you tonight, and I am here to win.
Feels great to be back, making my 2021 debut and looking forward to finishing the rest of this year strong. I'm starting it tonight. My preparation for this fight tonight was great. I've had a long camp, and I'm ready to showcase my skill and get a victory tonight in an outstanding fashion. I know Ivan Leon has 14 wins, and he has experience, and he's trying to take my throne, so I can't let that happen. I'm not going to let that happen. I just want to thank everybody for tapping in tonight and watching. And my prediction for this fight is definitely the victory, but I also want to get a KO tonight.
Entering the ring, Ivan Leon Benitez.
Ivan Benitez, 14-4-1, only 20 years old. He's a tough fighter every single time. Y saludos a toda la gente que está mirando desde Quintana Roo, desde Aguascalientes. Mande su apoyo a Ivan Benitez.
His opponent, Michael Dutchover.
The West Texas Warrior from Midland, Texas, coming his way to the ring. Michael Dutchover, promoted by Thompson and Banner Promotions. Hello to Artie Palulo, the one and only legend watching us right now. Dutchover, 14-1, 10 KOs. So if you're from Lubbock or from Midland, you're the Rio Grande Valley, all of Texas, let them know that it's main event time on 3-2-1 Boxing.
We continue here at the Omega Products International Event Center. The action being brought to you by Thompson Boxing Promotions. It is 3-2-1 Boxing, being sponsored by Thompson Building Materials, transforming spaces into beautiful places. Locations throughout California. Omega Products International, the leading stucco manufacturer in the United States. Henry Fortifiber, moisture system control, easy as 1, 2, 3. And Makita Tools, rule the outdoors. Prepare to be entertained. This is the main event of the evening, 8 rounds or less. In the super lightweight division, our judges at ringside are Jonathan Davis, Christy Rosario, and Max DeLuca. The ref in charge of the action, Raul Caiz Sr. And now, the moment has come to find out quién es el más macho. Presenting first, the fighter standing in the red corner. Wearing blue with white trim, he weighed in officially at 138 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring in his 20th pro bout with a record of 14 victories against 4 losses, 1 draw, 6 of those victories coming by way of KO. De Aguascalientes, Mexico, Iván Cachorro León Benitez. Across the ring, his opponent, in the blue corner, wearing purple and gold. He weighed in officially at 137.5 pounds. In 15 pro bouts, he maintains a record consisting of 14 victories, with 1 lone, highly disputed defeat, and 10 of his victories coming by way of KO. Representing Midland, Texas, the West Texas Warrior, Michael Dutchover.
Okay, muchachos, les di las instrucciones ahí abajo. I give you instructions downstairs. Los golpes here, punches here are fine. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
Let's see how these lightweights match up. Dutchover at 23, 3 years older. He is 1 inch taller. However, Benitez has 2 inches in wingspan.
We get ready to go. Hello to all the Dutchover family in West Texas. Y saludos a toda la gente de Benitez en Aguascalientes y Quintana Roo. Michael Dutchover got the purple and gold. Record of 14-1. That loss was disputed on cuts. That was in his hometown of Midland. Dutchover was supposed to fight. It was scheduled to fight last week in Texas, but that never got off the ground. So here he is on a Thompson show in the 3-2-1 bubble. So with young fighters, Doug, right, especially during the pandemic, you got to stay ready. You never know what happens.
You got to stay in the gym. That's the secret to success.
Dutchover working with Arnold Barbosa. Doing a lot of work with him as Barbosa was getting ready for his fight, along with Ruben A. Torres. Benitez lost to Yuyu, George Acosta, on a Thompson show early last year. That was the last regular show we had before the pandemic shut everything down. Tough fighter, good opposition. We'll come at you.
Would you say the difference in that fight was Acosta's jab?
Yeah, that was the first time we saw Acosta throwing that jab over and over and over. Benitez said He was just staying ready for the show, no matter where it was at. That's the attitude. I see. Real fighters want to fight, they fight.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think most fighters were adversely affected by COVID in terms of their opportunities. Some more than others. I think it's important, though, as I mentioned before, for Dutchover, we are now halfway through, basically, 2020. I'd like to see him, if he gets out clean tonight, to have 2 more fights after this. Unless there's a significant opportunity at that 10 and 12 round level. I'm not so sure what would keep him or his promoters from booking him twice. If there is, let's put it this way, some economic realities that are met within what Dutchover wants to get paid and needs to get paid contractually.
In other words, show me money, I'll do it.
Yeah. But sometimes, you know, you have to fight, though.
Contractual.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to invest in your career. If you're not going to get 100% of what you want and you only settle for 75%, there are times you have to look at the big picture. I get the sense a guy like Dutchover, the more he fights, the better he'll be.
As always, hello to our good friend, Steve calls him the security blanket, Linus Esquire. Checking in from PA.
From the city of brotherly love.
Body shot from Dutchover, trained by Danny Zamora. But his answer is the body shot of his own.
10 segundos, 10 seconds, stop at the bell, paren la campana.
Raul Caiz Sr., the referee, giving instructions. ThompsonBLDG.com is where you want to go. Check out all about Thompson Building Materials. Yards in Orange, Fontana, Alameda, Camarillo, San Diego, Ripon, Sacramento. That Alameda yard is always busy. It's on PCH. I drive by it. My goodness. You would think it was in and out. There's always trucks there. It slows down traffic.
Well, there's 2 things people always need: In-N-Out burgers and wood.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
But let me get this right. I'm sorry. Michael Dutchover's fighting. It's like a Whataburger, right?
Yeah.
We got to talk about Texas. Rokas Sport. Hello, Rokas. If you want to go and support him, he's over there having his own ads on the Thompson Boxing Facebook page. And don't forget to listen to the 3 Knockdown Rule with Steve Kim, since we're promoting a podcast here, Rokas. Now, what's happening, man? How you doing? Good to see the Boxing Rundown every Monday. Continued success to you, young man. Now, there was a question earlier. When are fans going to be allowed at a Thompson show? We don't know. We don't know if our next show is going to be inside the Corona.
I got the answer.
And the views and opinions from Steve Kim will not be.
No, I got an answer. Ask Gavin Newsom. Ask our governor. He knows more than us.
And if they do have them, we will let you know. Go to the Thompson Boxing Instagram page. Keep all the information. We miss you guys. We miss you guys. Hopefully, a lot of things are up in the air. But anyways, right now we're watching Dutchover with purple and a good left hook followed by uppercut. Ruben Garcia in Ensenada, Mexico. Saludos.
Dutchover's looking pretty sharp so far.
Oh.
But did my eyes deceive me, or did Dutchover catch a good one right at the bell, ending round 1?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Right at the bell. He answered with one. Benitez will land a hook. Chris Alstad, how are you doing? Whataburger's big in Arizona. See? Bring up Whataburger and all the Texans come out.
That was a nice hook Dutchover landed.
Yeah, we've seen the growth of Michael Dutchover. Left Midland, Texas after graduation to train in Southern California. We've seen him on the Thompson shows. Evolution of a young man. Joe Surratt watching us in Idaho. Go Vandals. Or Boise State. Reyes Rodriguez, saludos al cachorro. West Texas Warrior, 432 area code checking in. Lubbock, Texas, also a big hotbed for Dutchover fans. And our good friend, Double B, Bernie Barmercell, publicist to the Stars.
What's up, Bernie?
If you're a fighter, you need some publicity done right. Hit up Bernie.
Fighters need publicists.
No, they need good publicists.
Good publicists, right.
Doesn't get better than B. Out of Chicago. That's a good one. Saul Bustos. Looking forward to seeing him fight again. Yeah. Bustos trained by Manny Robles. He does a good job.
Oh yeah, that's the welterweight.
Yeah,
Got the long hair.
Yeah. Abilene, Texas, checking in. Oh, Dutchover. I thought became a Laker fan. No, he's representing Midland High Bulldogs. Those purple and gold, the colors of his high school team. You're right, Gail. Fucking, oh, you need good PR team, ladies included. That's the corner of Ivan Leon Benitez. Cachorro is the youngest one in his family. Started boxing pro at 16, like a real Mexican.
Jeez.
Speaking of Linus, he tweeted, I like Michael Dutchover a lot, but I don't recall his L on Showtime Boxing being quote-unquote highly disputed. More bad luck on a cut in a fight he was probably winning. Trust me, Linus, that was highly disputed by Artie Palulo and Thompson Boxing. Okay, let's set the record straight on that. They dispute that decision a lot.
Yeah, and that fight, though, let's give the background to it. It was a fight in his hometown. It looked like he was winning, and it was on Showbox.
Yes, it was Showbox.
It was stopped because of cuts, but there was nobody able to work on his cut.
Yeah.
But it was just stopped.
Right. The thing is, we've seen worse cuts. We've seen fighters with worse cuts continue. I think that's what it made it controversial, at least in the eyes of Michael Dutchover fans.
Shot landed by Dutchover.
Yeah, and I've never understood that, Doug. When ringside physicians do their jobs and stop fights, I'm not disputing that. But in terms of a cut, when a fighter is not butchered, if you don't let the cut man at least work on it, what's the point of having a cut man?
I think sometimes it's the place of the cut.
Yeah.
If the cut's on a certain area of the eyelid or certain part of the eye where they think there's a nerve right underneath there, then they will stop it rather than risk the fighter suffering permanent damage.
Third round scheduled for 8.
But Doug, I don't recall that being like the Lennox Lewis-Klitschko fight that we were at.
I don't either. Beto and I were actually working that night at the DoubleTree, so we didn't see it live. We just heard about it, and it was a bit of a shock, even though, Showbox has a tradition of matching prospects tough. That's the credo of that 20-year-old series. And listen, it's not necessarily a blight on a fighter's record or career to have lost on Showbox. There's a fair amount of world champions who lost their first fights on Showbox and came back on the series to win again and work their way up the ladder and eventually win major world titles.
Steve Fitzgerald brings up a good point. A couple weeks earlier, Tyson Fury was cut, and they let that keep on going.
Right, and that was a horrible cut.
I was there that night, and that was when he fought Otto Wallin, and that was before the proposed rematch with Wilder, which was signed. There was a palpable tension in that arena, like, there's $50 million going right down the drain on it.
What cut? I don't see no cut.
Yeah.
Overhand left from Dutchover lands. He's working inside. Dutchover does his sparring at Sarabia's gym, which is essentially a garage in the backyard, and it gets about 1,000 degrees. Quality work. Thank you for joining us this Sunday. 3-2-1 Boxing. Next show will be in August. Jeff Ronan, appreciate you. Straight to the point, we talk, we let you guys know what's going on. Doug Fisher, the editor-in-chief of Ring Magazine. Steve Kim, boxing media extraordinaire. Does his own thing. All of Dutchover's Midland High cross-country teammates watching in the tall city from Martha Ruiz. Dutchover was a cross-country runner. He tells me he was a star, but I don't know. Because on his team was Bryce Hoppel, who's going to be going to the Olympics. So, you know, I know Dutchover can run, and we've actually run a half marathon together, and he'll remind me that he beat me. I'm like, yeah, but you're in shape and you're 20 years younger, and you train. But no, he takes a lot of pride in that, and Dutchover does a lot of good work. Just a good kid, like Ivan Benitez is. Benitez coming in from Aguascalientes. He's 14-4. Centro of the box. He's actually from Quintana Roo, southern part of Mexico. He trains in Aguascalientes, where Doug has once called the fight.
I've called fights in both Cancun and Aguascalientes. And
which one was the bull ring?
The bull ring was Aguascalientes, and it was like a miniature Roman Colosseum.
Maximus.
Yeah.
So you don't get this kind of broadcast anywhere else. We interact with you, the fans. Chris Allstat, thanks for joining us tonight. 3-2-1 boxing. 3 fights, in, out. You know you got things to do. Michael Dutchover working the body in the purple.
And Beto, you talk about working the body. I'd like to see Dutchover just get on the inside, find shelter, and just dig. I think that's the best way to go about it right now.
He did that in the last round, and I think he had success when he got Benitez up against the ropes. And as you can see, I have Dutchover winning all 3 of the first 3 rounds of this bout.
Agreed.
Karma Surge says, Beto, you should get in the Masters boxing, get in the ring and swing. Heck no. You want to see an old man swinging? Look at Ernie Gabion's account, and you will see him hitting the bag. Ernie from Everlast, love you. He's out there. That's what you want to do. Now, Steve and Doug actually do train. Make sure you check out Doug on Sundays with Coach.
That's a loose definition of train, okay?
Well, I mean, everybody's a fighter now, right?
No, I'm not.
Everybody wants to get in on the act.
Yeah. Everybody wants to fight until they realize that 3 minutes are really, really long. There's no need for this. That's why I tell people, like, oh, yo, the fight this, fight that. Go skip rope for 15 minutes. If you can do that, then you're all right, but nobody can. I want to see Doug in the sombrero calling a fight. Don't we all? That'll be our special.
It'll happen.
That's our Cinco de Mayo show.
Yes.
We're going to be pandering to everybody, okay? Beto, it's all 40s and up in Masters. Man, I'm training to do a marathon and I get tired after 3 miles. What the heck do I want to get hit for? There's no need. You want to see somebody in their 40s train and hit? Go follow Mario Lopez. Let him do all that boxing stuff.
There you go.
There's no need for this. No, those who can do, those who can't announce. Michael Dutchover's looking good in this fight.
Yeah, I like to control the distance. I think he's controlling the tempo of the fight. I like the lateral movement. I'm loving the jab. I'd like to see a little bit more of it, but I'm really liking the hook. His hook is on point, and there's a lot of variation to it. And he can land that and just spin right out of range. And I'm also seeing the body attack. It was a staple of his style.
That was real clever right there. Ran Benitez into a really good right hand.
They fall down, Caes. Benitez went down.
Yeah, feeling it in his hip. Yeah. Feeling that sciatic nerve.
See, Karma, if you're in your 40s, the sciatic nerve will keep you down, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm like when I get out of bed every morning.
Every morning.
I look just like that.
Sometimes you just got to know when how old you really are. Like, should I really be trying to do my 4th marathon? No. Am I going to? Yeah, because they're going to pay me to do it. But there's no need for this.
What marathon are you running?
The LA Marathon in November.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to be one of their like ambassadors and all that other stuff. No need for it.
So you're training. When does your training really begin in earnest?
You should do.
Okay, say no more.
Yeah, if you want to do a marathon, you should give yourself 18 good weeks.
Right.
As you build up for it. But because I haven't been running at all, I'm trying to get back into it, and it's oh man.
Can you cross train? Can you swim?
You can do a lot.
Can you ride bike?
You can do a lot.
Ride a bike. Yeah.
Aurelio Lelo Martinez, call the fight, stop the flip flapping. Nah, man, that's what we do. Dude, you can watch the fight. You see it, right? It's in your screen. You're watching it. And has there really been much for us to like really get into it right now?
Yeah, it's been one-way traffic.
Yeah, it's all Michael Dutchover controlling it. Yeah, but no, I'll be doing a half marathon in October with Michael. Did it with Ruben Torres also. Actually ran one with Oscar Valdez. He actually did the LA half marathon.
I bet you he's a beast.
He came in 22nd.
Wow.
Without training.
Sure.
Without training, Oscar Valdez came in 22nd.
Yeah, just his general fitness
Yeah.
and his mental tenacity
Yeah.
is gonna drive him.
Yeah, man. Head of the 5th round, scheduled for 8. Michael Dutchover controlling this one, the main event. The West Texas Warrior. Hello to everybody in Midland, Odessa, Lubbock, the Rio Grande Valley. David Montez, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you leaving a comment. It's always a different kind of broadcast, man. We interact with you, the fans. Nah, Francisco, it's cool. It's cool. It's the it's a broadcast for the fans. Low blow, Benitez is saying. Doug, what's coming up in Ring Magazine?
Canelo Alvarez is the cover star of our most recent issue. He was the default cover star because our planned cover was supposed to be supposed to feature Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
Jesus, did something happen, Doug?
Yeah, as Mike Tyson says, it went to Bolivian. Yes, it did. I mean, it happens. It's just that's modern boxing, and maybe we will see those two share the ring. Maybe we will eventually see a showdown for the undisputed heavyweight championship, but it's not going to happen this summer. So Canelo Alvarez had just fought. He's unified 3/4 of the super middleweight title. He's the Ring Magazine champion, and beyond getting the stoppage against previously undefeated Billy Joe Saunders, he drew more than 70,000 fans at the tail end of a pandemic at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, and that is notable.
That's crazy.
That's a U.S. indoor boxing record.
We were there for Canelo and Liam Smith. That was a spectacle. I can only imagine how it was for Billy Joe Saunders.
Right, that was just 51,000 when he fought Liam Smith in 2016.
Low blow from Benitez. Referee Calles Sr. is telling him to keep him up. Steve, what do you guys got coming up on the 3 knockdown rule?
Well, tomorrow we are scheduled to have El Presidente Eric Gomez, president of Golden Boy Promotions. A lot of stuff going on there. And then maybe the week after we might have Teofimo Lopez.
Love that kid's attitude lately. Teofimo is no holds barred. He's always been like that, but lately even more so. And he'll be fighting soon on Triller, right?
Yeah, June 19th against George Kambosos is IBF mandatory. And then it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of his relationship with Top Rank. I think that's a story to look out for.
Really? Greg and Sage Dutchover watching in Vegas. Well, your relative is cruising through 5. Main event on 3, 2, 1 boxing. June 19th, isn't everybody fighting that day?
Yeah, there's actually a Munguia fight, supposedly, although Sulecki just dropped out. Jamal Charlo fights in Houston against a rather nondescript opponent.
Naoya Inoue.
Inoue,
Vegas?
yes, on ESPN Plus. So as they say, check your local listings.
You left out the best one, Steve.
Which one?
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. against
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, Anderson Silva. Yeah, MMA legend.
Spider. Yeah, our friend Big Surge is going to be down there working that corner.
Hey,
So
talk about old guys training. So Chavez Sr. is also fighting. Isn't he fighting Hector Camacho Jr.?
Yes, he is.
I've been watching. Have you been watching his Instagram?
He's still the best fighter in his family.
Yeah, hitting the bag. He looks great. Still got the leverage on those body shots. But I like watching Senior hit the heavy bag and the sparring.
As we head to the 6th round, Michael Dutchover in control of this fight. Banner Promotions, Thompson Promotions. As we head to it, it's time for Dutchover to step on the gas here in the last 3 rounds. He's controlling this one against Ivan Leon Benitez.
And Benitez has remained game throughout.
Yeah.
He's trying his best every round. He hasn't taken off a round. He hasn't just gone into survival mode in any point of this fight. He's trying. He's trudging forward, trying to land shots here and there, and he does land shots occasionally. But Dutchover is landing maybe 3 to his 1, and his shots are got more snap on it, more accurate.
Dutchover had his knockouts early on in his career. Is his strength starting to develop?
Well, I think he's got good physical strength. I mean, if you look at his age, he's 23. I don't think he's a real natural puncher. Beto, I remember about 3 years ago, he scored this eye-opening one-round knockout at the Doubletree. But look, he's not Julian Jackson. Most guys aren't. He's going to have to be what they call a bricklayer. Just lay it one by one, put in a lot of work. I wish in this fight he'd stick a little bit more in the pocket, go chest to chest. But this is what his fights are going to be. He's going to have to put in a good, honest night's work just about every single time. Generally in every generation, Doug, I think you talk about this, but it's not like we always have 20 great punchers. It's usually down to about 5 per generation that are like a Bob Foster, Tommy Hearns, guys of that ilk. The rest have to kind of put that work in.
Absolutely.
And to chop that tree down steadily.
And you know what, Steve, when we see the gifted punchers lose for the first time, it's almost always to a technician.
Right.
It's always to the more versatile boxer, whether it's Prince Nassim Hamed against Marco Antonio Barrera, or Felix Trinidad against Bernard Hopkins,
And Dutchover's cut accidental headbutt on his left eyebrow.
Yeah, I can't see where the blood is. Oh, it's dripping now, though.
Yeah, it's from the eyebrow.
We want to make this clear, though. Not having power is not an indictment. You look at a guy like Danny Roman, Beto. We saw the skill that he exhibited, that he just slashes you to death.
Yeah.
It is death by 1,000 cuts. But you have to learn how to work within that style and to be very steady throughout a fight.
With Roman, when he fought that fighter in Japan, when he defended, it was just break him down, break him down, break him down. I think that's what Dutchover's going to have to do in his career. Final seconds of the 6th round. We're scheduled for 8, 3, 2, 1, a main event. Dutchover cut on an accidental headbutt. And Jerry Dutchover, I know you wanted to hear the corner sound. Because of the way that's set up, it's hard to get a boom mic into the corners. So I know normally we would have that, but it's hard to do because of restrictions that are here due to COVID. So you do hear Benitez's corner because our microphone is right next to him. That's where we're set up at. So that's why you hear the red corner. You see Mike Rodriguez, cut man extraordinaire, working on that cut that's on Michael Dutchover's left eyebrow. Caused by an accidental headbutt. Mike, one of the best in the business. Doesn't look too bad. Joe. Good job by our camera crew getting in there. David Montes, you're right. Benitez is a game fighter. He is tough. He comes in there to give you work. Steve Kim taught me the phrase, professional resistance.
Professional resistance.
Benitez 14-4-1. Benitez been on that club scene in Tijuana. Also fought on a PBC show, a Top Rank show, so they've used him around.
I think we're all in agreement on the scorecard of this fight. A shutout through 6 rounds from Michael Dutchover.
Looking good. Controlling this fight.
Yes, control is the key term. The pace of the fight, the jurisdiction, the distance, everything. It's dictated by Dutchover. Benitez's game. He stalks forward. He'll land a punch here and there, but he is being outworked, outboxed, outclassed by Dutchover.
And thanks for all the comments that are coming through on the Thompson Boxing Twitter account. Roka, stop promoting your show, bro. We already gave you the shout out. Don't get banned. How do you guys have it, and where are you watching from this Sunday afternoon? We're in Corona, California, Omega Products International. Where our good friend Jim Boone loves to come in the summer, KO tickets. It's a great setup in the summer when it's outside. We're indoor. Also, watching us on YouTube, the Ozarker, Nick Martin.
We got an Ozarker?
Yeah.
Right on.
Eddie Silerio in Lubbock, Texas. Brandon Ramirez in Pecos, Texas. San Antonio. Bill Hensley, there's your shout out. We are live. Brandon Curry watching us in Newcastle, the UK. Louis James playing Roblox. I feel you, man. Yvonne's corner, telling them to let it go. So they feel the desperation on his side. Zamora family watching the Santa Fe Springs. Gabe Flores Sr. What's up, Gabe Flores Sr.? Mr. 209. Trainer for his son, Gabe Flores Jr.
Manos libres, tiren golpes. Get your hand up, Michael. Stop it, paren la campana.
Buns, there's no way you're in Paris.
Paris, Texas, maybe.
Okay, Paris, Texas. There you go. Paul Hernandez. What's that? GPS stories forever. You know that? People watching New Zealand, Canada. All right, we appreciate you watching us on the Thompson Boxing YouTube page. And make sure you guys go and check out past fights, past interviews. No problem, Nick Martin. The Torres family watching us in Snyder, Texas.
One more to go. This is the 8th and final round.
Mama Rosales watching us in Palmdale. Buns, you are not in Paris, France, man. There's no way. Been to Paris a couple times. Beautiful. As we told you, we interact with you, the fans. This fight is for you. We see everything. It's a different broadcast. We're here for you. 8th and final round. Respect between the two fighters. Jose Licea, the future of boxing, interacting with the fans. We've been doing it for 4 years. I'm not saying we're the first ones, but I'll say we're the first ones. Oh, Gabe Flores Sr. letting us know that his son is going to be on the Fury Wilder card.
Breaking news.
July 24th. He's opening up the pay-per-view.
Who is this?
Gabe Flores. 8th and final round. Michael Dutchover controlling this fight, winning this fight. The West Texas Warrior. Looking solid. Benitez corner telling him to step it up. He's not. Lee Gonzalez in Corpus Christi. Or the Jared Belmonte's fight in Corpus once. The Zamora family watching at their soccer games. That's support. Shot from Dutchover. Now Benitez is getting desperate. He could be opening himself up. Benitez breathing heavy now in the 8th and final round. Nothing behind his punches, though.
I like the work effort from Benitez in this final round.
It's a good fight for Dutchover. Pruneda family in Midtown Soldiers Boxing Club in Midland, Texas. Dutchover has a big support. The fans like him. He's a fun fighter to watch. Great kids root for.
And good personality outside of the ring. I think it was May 2018 at the Boxing Writers Association Awards dinner, a couple days before the Jorge Linares-Vasily Lomachenko fight at Madison Square Garden. Ruben Villa, the 4th, and Dutchover were at the banquet. and kind of making the rounds. And Dutchover just charmed everybody that he talked to. Even East Coast boxing writers that weren't familiar with him, never seen him, they wanted to see him after having a conversation with him. So he's got that type of personality.
Del Rio, Texas coming in. Dallas, Texas coming in. All of Texas. So, you can have a country behind you, but when you have all the state of Texas,
that's like a country.
Yeah, about the same thing, yeah.
The Republic of Texas.
That's right.
And their young man, Dutchover, looking good. Good professional resistance. 8 good rounds for Michael Dutchover. He's in a cruise to the victory. And probably take a couple weeks off and get right back in the gym, because they have big plans for Michael Dutchover. We'll come back with the officials. You're watching 3-2-1 Boxing on Thompson Boxing in Corona, California.
Discover the advantages of the Henry Fortifiber 123 moisture control system. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Choose the weather barrier, add the flashing, then finish up with the Henry Moist Top Sealant. Done. No guessing, no gambling. Just the winning confidence you get from our compatible systems.
Experience Makita's cordless outdoor power equipment. The mower is a part of the world's largest battery system and cuts non-stop for up to 2 miles. The self-propelled model makes mowing effortless. Get unstoppable power without the hassles of gas. Reach speeds of up to 116 miles per hour with the single battery blower. One system, endless possibilities. Now get 2 extra free batteries.
After going all 8 rounds here at the Omega Products International Event Center, the official scorecard reads as follows. Judges Davis and Rosario turn in identical scores of 80-72, and Judge DeLuca scores it 78-74. All 3 in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. The West Texas Warrior, Michael Dutchover.
4-3-2, stand up. The Michael Dutchover gets to go back home with a record of 15-1 as he gets the unanimous decision. Good fight, good work, good learning experience, Steve.
Well, I think he needed that. It was not a spectacular effort. It was very solid, considering the fact he's been off about 11 months. So, like I said before, he's got to get back on the horse. We are halfway through the year. If they are going to keep him at the 8-round level and there is not a significant big opportunity for a title, which I don't foresee coming, even a regional title, to me there's no reason why he shouldn't be out there at least twice more in 2021.
Yeah, I think allow that left eye to heal, get right back in the gym, get right back in the ring. I liked his offense. He seemed to have his old form back with the the body work, the head work, the good punch selection. I like the footwork. I like the lateral movement. He blends his offense and defense well. I think this effort would be way more entertaining against just a better talent. You know, no offense to Benitez, young guy, tough guy, very willing, but he just has a certain level of talent and boxing ability. You step that up a little bit, and we'll get some good fights with Michael Dutchover.
And this is something that Artie Palula and Banner Promotions, and along with Alex Campanova and Thompson Promotions, where you can find Dutchover where, yeah, you need this round against Benitez because he gives you that because you're trying to still shake off the stuff from the past.
That's
year.
right.
But you step it up, and it's like Dutchover rises to the level of his competition, it seems like.
Yes.
So that's the kind of guys that he needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him, you know, in against the level of Matisse. You know, the guy who beat him. You know, not necessarily the same guy, but somebody of that level. Somebody who is battle tested, but is also has a certain level of boxing ability and athleticism to bring to the dance.
Let's listen to the West Texas Warrior, Michael Dutchover, 432, along with 818, Jessica Rosales.
All right, guys, joining us now, we've got the winner, Michael Dutchover, going home today with a new record of 15-1. We were just talking about this. It's been a while since we've seen you. Your last fight was July of 2020. You said when you think about it, it doesn't feel like that long, but did you feel it today?
Exactly, it was, and like you said, July was my last fight, and I had been training since January, you know, very strong, so I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to have ring rust, but I felt it in there. I was trying to throw everything hard, and, you know, but that's where we're going to go back and look at the film and work on it, and I'm going to stay busy this year, so I'm going to be right back in September, you know, hopefully in Texas.
Yeah. Now, obviously going the distance today, do you feel like you needed to go those 8 rounds because of the time spent out of the ring?
Yes, that was one thing that I was glad. You know, I went the whole round. And of course, I had mistakes. As you can see, I had a cut. You know, because of me, I reached over and, you know, I got the headbutt. But that's things that, you know, we go back in the gym and work on. And, you know, it's just part of the experience. You know, I could fight with the cut. You know, I fought 3 rounds with it and still finished and won the rounds.
So 1 through 8, at which round did you start to feel maybe a little bit tired? Did you start to feel the effects of that time out of the ring? And then at what point did that kind of get past you and you kind of got back into the groove?
Honestly, like past the round 4, because I was trying to throw everything hard. As you can see, I was trying to get the KO, and things about learning in the sport, you need fights like this to learn from that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad, and that just shows my conditioning, because, you know, I was throwing everything hard, but I still lasted and still finished strong. So, but we're gonna be back in the gym. As soon as I get this cut healed, I'll be back in the gym and getting ready for September.
Yeah, and you know, the trouble wasn't just the fact that you were out of the ring for so long. Obviously, your opponent, Ivan Benitez, a good opponent to have, who threw some great punches in there and was good competition for you as well. Tell us about him and what kind of gave you some trouble.
Yeah, it was great. You know, he has 20 fights. You know, he has more fights than me. And, you know, he's been around. He's fought great opposition. If you look at his record, he doesn't have any easy fights. And so I knew he was going to bring it, and he did. And I'm glad he did, because, you know, it made me have to step up. I couldn't just let him go. I had to bring my A game.
Yeah. So what would you give tonight's performance? What do you give yourself in that
I
ring?
give myself like a C-.
A C-?
Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's how hard I am on myself, and my coaches also. You know, right away, we're going to be back in the gym working on our mistakes.
All right.
So I can look much better in September.
Yeah, and you were, you know, obviously training this entire time out of the ring. Do you get a break now? Do you get maybe a couple days off? Do you get maybe a week off? What are you going to do before getting back to training?
Oh, I really don't want to, but I got to let this cut heal. I'm not supposed to sweat, you know, with the cut. So, but it's a small cut, thank God. You know, it's small, so it's going to heal fast, and, you know, I'll be back in the gym soon.
Yeah, and you did say that, you know, you're hoping to take your career to the next level.
Yes.
What is that next level for you?
Next level, you know, fighting for a regional title, getting ranked, you know, in the top 10, and, you know, I'm looking forward to that at the end of this year. So I gotta put my work in, and I'm going to.
All right, and of course, I was telling you this earlier. We were seeing a lot of love from Texas in the comment section on our Facebook, on our YouTube as well. What do you want to say to everybody back home?
You know, everybody always asks me to shout them out. It's too much people. I wish I could do everybody. You know, I love all of y'all. Everybody, all of my family's in Dallas, you know, watching Cleburne, Midland, San Antonio, my brother Junior, Amaya, my nieces and nephews. I love them. I miss them so much, and, you know, I can't wait to see them.
All right, going home after the unanimous decision win tonight, going the distance, 8 rounds. Michael Dutchover, thank you so much for the time. We're looking forward to seeing you back in the ring sooner than later.
Thank you, Jessica.
All right, guys, we'll send it back to you ringside.
432. He's flashing that for the area code of his area, West Texas. And Michael Dutchover gets the victory, win number 15. We've heard about Dutchover. We've seen him. He continues to impress every single time we see him, Doug, doesn't he?
Yeah, what I like is he fought like himself. Last time we saw him, Jorge Marron Jr. had a certain style where he's moving around, but Dutchover didn't look like himself. And I think part of that was maybe confidence, coming back from a loss, coming back from a layoff. Took him some time to be in that ring to feel like himself. But from the get-go in this fight, he fought like himself. He had the form, he had the offense, he had the defense. We saw the ring generalship, and Benitez tried, but he was just outclassed to the point where it wasn't the most exciting outcome. But at least, Michael Dutchover being back to form, we can look ahead and say, okay, let's put him in tougher, and then let's see some real fights.
He's working his way towards a potential shot. Now, Steve, Dutchover gets the victory, but who did you like the most tonight?
Jose Tito Sanchez. There comes a point in time when a fighter has to just jump out at you and make a statement. He took on a tough guy in a battle of 6-0 fighters. Andrew Strode started off very quick, very fast, but it was a tortoise in the hare. Andrew Strode had a great first 100 meters, and then round 2 started, and that fight changed very, very quickly. What I liked about Sanchez, there's a method to the madness. There's not only is there tempo and pace, there's also placement of punches, and he's very crafty because he's able to shift from orthodox stance to southpaw stance. Has a very, very engaging, entertaining style. I know that's right up the alley of Joel Diaz, a guy that I love, and I think that he has a bright future. At the end of the day, this is entertainment, and if you can entertain me, if you can be fun, if you can be exciting, and you can make fights into a battle, I want to watch you. And the thing that I'm going to leave here tonight is I want to see more of Jose Tito Sanchez.
Tito Sanchez, Richard Brewart, Michael Dutchover get the victories here on 3-2 Unboxing. So for everybody involved, Mr. Ken Thompson, Alex Campanova, Jeanette Gonzalez, Paula Fornia, and all the crew, everybody behind the scenes, the audio, the video, the camera kids, or men now. They've grown up. They were teenagers when they started. Oh, they're all grown up now.
Boys to men.
Oh, they're so young. And time flies here on 3-2 Unboxing. And for everybody helping put on the show, for my partners, Jessica Rosales, Doug Fisher, Steve Kim, I'm Beto Duran. Thank you for watching 3-2 Unboxing.